Hello from cold, snowy Strasbourg. The headlines. British businesses remain nervous about two government disasters, Brexit and Carillion. Economic inequality again at the top of the agenda. Young people fighting against hate crime. Feedback on the conference that I organise. Celebrating 100 years of women's suffrage. Report back on my human rights work, calling out Turkey and Egypt. First, the Brexit update. Parliament voted this week on divvying up seats of British MEPs after Brexit. British business leaders from the West Midlands and across the country have warned Theresa May that their patience is wearing thin, with government indecision on Brexit. According to the government's own predictions, the versions of Brexit under consideration would cut British manufacturing exports up to a third. Our manufacturing areas like Coventry and Birmingham will be hit the hardest. Even if the government is able to strike a trade agreement with every other major country, we would face cuts in manufacturing exports by up to 13%. 450 more job losses were announced at Carillion earlier this week, on top of the last week's 377 redundancies. In the House of Commons, UK MPs rightly blamed the government for the Carillion calamity. I'm continuing my fight to hold those responsible to account and ensure that construction of big Midlands projects continue as planned. On top of my group's agenda this week is the fight against socio-economic inequality. The UK remains one of the most unequal countries outside the developing world. It takes less than 3 days for the average FTSE 100 boss to earn the UK's average yearly salary. That's why we have called for a genuine European strategy to reduce inequality. We want to achieve income growth for the bottom 40%, to halve the numbers of people living in poverty by 2013, have stronger rules on decent working conditions and a living wage index to work out fair levels of minimum pay in each country. Hate crime has become far too common for many in the West Midlands. That's why I co-organised a youth conference at BCU. It was a great event that brought together young people from schools, colleges, diverse communities from across the region. Half a dozen schools and over 80 young people took part. I was really encouraged by the powerful messages that the students communicated through music, poetry and virtual media. Young people can lead the way in building a more cohesive West Midlands. Now, 100 years ago, the first group of women in the UK were given the vote. This was the first of many steps towards giving women equal rights. I'm particularly proud that two of the key women who fought for this suffrage were of Indian origin. Amongst them, Sophie Duleep Singh and Bikaji Kama. I commend the Royal Mail, who will be issuing a stamp on the 15th of February, having a first Sikh woman on it who played a pivotal role in women's rights some 100 years ago. I was delighted to celebrate the day with Jeremy Corbyn, Diane Abbott and so many other brilliant Labour women. Jeremy made a strong commitment to making sure that all women will be heard, not just those who are already in the political arena. Here in the European Parliament, we mark the International Day of Zero Tolerance of FGM by promoting the launch of online knowledge platform. Professionals from across Europe will be able to use it to share knowledge and raise awareness of this brutal practice. And my other work on highlighting human rights violations across the world continues. I spoke on the alarming situation in Egypt. 30 civilians were executed in space of just 1 month. In the Afrin offensive, Turkey is causing bloodshed and suffering amongst the Kurdish people in Syria. Together with the violence of Assad and his allies, a solution for the conflict looks further out of reach. That's it for now. See you next time.